much to overcome. And he even has a helicopter on the bench with his mage lineup.
Yeah.
If he finds 2 more Dragon Knights, he can actually get a Dragon Knight 3 and put in a helicopter. Ooh, we're getting closer. At this point, if this is me, this is where I start.
Oh, he found it. He's got the 3-star
Let's
Dragon
go.
Knight.
And put in that helicopter.
Hey guys, this month I'm giving away a PlayStation 4. All you have to do is comment on this video to enter, but be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever I post a video, because to pick the winner, I'll be randomly selecting one comment from each video I post throughout the month, then selecting one of those people at random to win the console. So the more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Good luck. Also, my good friend Alexandro is giving away a Nintendo Switch this month, so be sure to head over to his channel for more details on that.
Alright, so here we are in the game. So let's see where we're gonna start with. Of course, we have some goblins. We saw that a lot of the EU games, that starting with goblins is always kind of a powerful starting strategy, given that it's kind of easy to get a good synergy early. Most of the units cost only 1 gold, which means you can always upgrade them and sell them for full retail when you transition, which makes it so powerful in the beginning. And
MDNG also with a Skybreaker, Zugrug picking up a Red Axe Chief first pick. It's you know, it's a little
swordsman.
Maybe not the best starting, but he might not have had too many other options. He does have another Red Axe Chief, but I definitely agree with going for the Swordsman instead of the pair of Red Axe. Yeah, it's just a better overall unit. Vincent is definitely known for his strong starts. Gets out in front and is very aggressive. We saw the EU side being rather passive throughout most of the 4 games. So Vincent probably going to be pushing the lobby into a little bit different style of gameplay, because a lot of people are going to have to kind of keep up with him, I would assume. And
it's very interesting. Yeah, it's kind of a pressure player, aggressive player, if you will. Oh, found the Ripper too for the 3rd. Goblin here is pretty nice.
Yeah, 3 mechs this early is obviously really good, and then he has a chance to get a 2-star Heaven Bomber as well.
Sure. Yeah, let's look at the other. We have neutrons. World is made of neutrons, right? Electrons
and morons, of course. And he's using the neutron, of course. Yeah. 2-star God of War already. That's insane for him.
Super good start. Yeah, it also works very well with the. With it like a Skybreaker, and like having 2 mechs early together with that God of War can potentially be very powerful. We have Tide here. Has a 2-star. Is that a Sky? No, Heavenly Bomber. Yeah. Okay, but that doesn't have too many other synergies. It's gonna be interesting to see which players actually don't end up finding anything too powerful and maybe going into a loose streak or open fort immediately. Feels like most people for the first PvP run is actually gonna try to win the first round. It's very uncommon to start open forting immediately. I think we saw 1 player do that in the EU qualifiers.
Yeah, that was Orin, who had a couple of goblins and a random Stone Spirit, so it made sense at the time. But MDNG pleased with the 2-star God of War is definitely going to be.
I mean, I would have been
something to watch out for. That's already a huge start, and a pair of shining dragons on the bench as well. So this is really good start for him.
Sure. Yeah. This is a really good setup to kind of have a fast transition, and that can sometimes be the issue with the mage builds, that it's hard to transition into kind of a winning lineup before you actually get online. And if you get an early 2-star shining dragon together with a God of War, that goes a long way. You can put in 2 other mages, almost anything. A Flaming Wizard, level 1, or even a 1-star, and a Source 1-star, and that's usually good enough for a long time.
Surprisingly enough, though, Neutron and MDNG please with 2-star God of Wars, right, respectively, both losing their first rounds. Now, this is, it just keeps getting better for MDNG, please. So I'm really surprised that both of them lost their first round.
I think it makes somewhat of a sense when you play against goblins. When all the other units dies, usually God of War has an issue of killing a goblin, especially if it has the goblin buff on it. And the mech regeneration is usually hard to kind of getting them all the way down to 0 health. We're gonna see if that's gonna happen again.
Yeah, and I think
All right, this time
Vincent,
it's gonna work out though. I think.
Oh, if he would have got that Heaven Bomber off, he could have snagged a win there. And these little wins are actually super important. You know, just keeping your streak from an early round is very crucial. So
2 players going up to 5. It seems like both Chuck and Tide.
And both getting rewarded for it too. They're still 100%, and we have the spirits started for Riptide actually.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. It's pretty good in the beginning, especially when there's not as much magic damage, and there's usually not a lot of range units either that are viable in the early game. So Spirit's definitely powerful early if you kind of want to just net that win. That is an early Dragon Knight on level 5.
Extremely early. Plus he has a source along with it as well. So
Jesus, yeah.
And he already has the spirits going, so he's kind of on his way. Of course, he needs to still get a couple other pieces with the Shining Dragon and Venom to make things really start clicking. But it's definitely off to a good start. And then we have
playing against Chuck right now, right?
Yeah, this is Riptide versus Chuck, the 2 100%ers. So it looks like Riptide is going to go down
to that 2-star swordsman. That's super powerful.
2-star swordman is definitely.
Does he have an item there? I think I'm seeing. No, okay, just a cattle armor. Yep.
Yeah, cattle hide armor though. It's
not nothing.
No, it's exactly what you want to put on Swordman though. Yeah. He is basically invulnerable to magic attacks while he's spinning, so he's only being touched by you know, basic attacks. So having that cattle hide armor on him is going to be the best possible type of item that you can give him, really.
So what I really like about Swordsman is that he's one of the few warriors early, except for God of War, that's really versatile. I think you can put him into a lot of comps and it's kind of working. Because especially in a lot of comps, if you, for example, go for gods, he kind of works as one of the 3 warriors because he doesn't really shut off the god buff with, you know, the swords, which Pirate Captain can do.
Yeah, until you get Storm Shaman, then you probably want to switch him out, but
yeah,
I mean he does magic damage too with his spin, so it all works. Like you said, he's very versatile. And we have 2-star swordmen spin to win, and Chuck is going to lose his 100% win streak now as well. So there we have it. Nobody is win streaking now at this point. We have a 3-lose streak from Pure Jun, 2-lose streak from Riptide now.
2-star Water Spirit, huh? So actually it's going for that. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do with it. So what are the setups looking like? What are people's general direction going in? Can we get do we have a tab somewhere? I'm not sure. Okay, Vincent is going for Glacier Knights, it seems like. So rocking a 2-star, of course. Stone Spirit, don't want to sell that off until he knows his own strategy. It's gonna be better. Like 2 stars, the name of the game, of course. Early, it's less about to get your finishes straight, but more that 2 stars is so much more valuable than the 1-star unit.
So what I was really interested to see was that MTNG Please has a really strong start. A lot of 2 stars, but he's only level 4. I feel like if he would have spent some gold and invested into leveling, he's the only level 4 person still. Of course, he levels automatically at this round, but he was really, like, I guess, holding off from leveling, and I'm not sure if it was really the best decision for him, but he is going gods now. You can definitely tell that this is a god build 100%. And once we get to the creep round, we'll go ahead and take a look at all the builds.
So what do you
see what they're looking like.
One interesting thing with MDNG here is that it actually has a 2-star or 2-star Stone Spirit, right? Earth Spirit.
Yeah.
And he actually has 2 more on the bench. So do you think he will not go for Thunder Spirit then?
I would assume that his plan is
look at that source. So
probably going dragon mages.
Yeah.
So that's typically what people do is they have the gods that kind of allow them to transition into dragon mages.
Right, yeah.
And then you throw in a Stone Spirit 3-star with the God of War 3-star, and that gives you a super tanky front line with Thunder Spirit in the back.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it can be relevant.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's take a look at the builds here. So we have Chuck going with a possible like Beast Warrior start. Of course, he has the Flaming Wizard.
Yep.
At 14 gold. Wob is at 10 gold with a
Hell Knight.
Yeah, it's like a Knight's
like
Glacier. Also has an early Berserker as well.
Yeah, that is very early actually at round 10. Also 2 players going up directly to 6, which is interesting. In the previous round, there's more players on 6, of course. In this round, we saw Sagrog and Pure Sun going to 6. And 6 is usually the level where you see people really start to save up their gold, because there's such a large leap to go up to 7 from 6 if you compare it to 5 to 6. So this is where we're going to see people try to develop their economy.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a few people that are matching the level 6. We have Zagrug, Purjan, also going up to 6 with Chuck and Wob at the top of the lobby right now. And it looks like Riptide also went up as well. So it doesn't surprise me to see a little bit more aggressive play than we saw on the EU. So we're already starting to see a little bit of a different play style overall.
For sure. Okay, so here we have some Glacian Knights. Not too many high-level units from Vincent here. We'll see if it's going to be enough against kind of like the classic warrior comp with Werewolf and some Cavemen. Definitely is looking for a lot of upgrades here. Vincent is a little bit behind in terms of upgrades, but he does have a bank. He has the most gold in the game, except for Neutron, I guess.
Yeah, and he does take some pretty heavy damage for round 11, taking -9 HP there. But yeah, he is loose streaking.
Yeah, and he does have the priest.
Does have priest, yes, but still going up against that warrior beast, he has to be real, like aware of it to know that maybe open forting could potentially be a better option, taking off more units. But he's got an egg, 30 gold.
So what do you think is saving his egg for? What's the most important unit to really level up? Because the fun thing with Glacian Knights is, I feel like the most important units to level up are Hell Knight and Lightblade Paladin most of the time. But they're only 2-cost units, right? So you're kind of losing a lot of gold if you invest your egg into a 2-gold unit.
Yeah, and he gets put up against another warrior beast, so he's going to take
early Razor Claw too.
Yeah, pretty decent damage again. Again, -9 just because of the priest, but yeah, it's definitely starting to punish these loose streakers. But I would say with the egg, I'd probably wait for 2 berserkers. Those are the most expensive units.
Makes sense.
And
also important kind of upgrade. It's just so much better to start, right?
Yeah, so I would just kind of save that in my bench, just waiting for 2 berserkers. Of course, it's a long way away, but
it's basically a berserker you can't use yet.
Yes, a berserker you can't use yet, and then you just need one more for 2-star. Yeah, exactly.
Chuck is still crushing it. Actually, let's see what he's working with right now. 39, 2 Flaming Wizards in play. Interesting. Doesn't have much of a bench, and that's really a testimony to the amount of gold he has, right? Has actually not upgraded a ton of units, doing surprisingly well. But Flaming Wizard is quite good early, I feel like, because as long as it can one-shot some amount of 1-star units, it's going to be good. But the longer the game prolongs, the more it's going to be about more AoE damage. And Flaming Wizard tends to kind of fall off a little bit, but here in the early game, definitely good. Alright, so he does get that extra gold for 40, doesn't have to sell this unicorn, which in itself can transform into another piece of gold later on. So nice for him. Also wants to keep that unicorn for his Razor Claw in play. So definitely looking pretty good for Chuck here. Super solid bank.
I think a lot of people underestimate how much gold you actually lose with keeping units on the bench.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's just picking very specific units that don't necessarily look like they would have him on a 5-win streak right now, but they do.
Here we have a super interesting thing that he found another Flaming Wizard, but now he has to figure out which unit does he put in. He can either buy one from the shop, which he did, a sniper, to try to win this round, or he can put in one of the units and try to kind of sell one of the others. Say that a Shining Dragon was the least important one, maybe he sells that and put in the Red Axe. Even if the Red Axe is worse in play, it's maybe more important for his build, for example. But he likes to go for the Sniper just to kind of try to make sure that he wins this round, which it really does make sense because he's win streaking, right? Has a 5-round win streak, so makes it a little bit more important to actually not get that extra gold, but to keep the win streak instead.
I like the duo of Flaming Wizard and Sniper, though. They're very bursty units, and say Flaming Wizard gets her ult off first, and then Dwarf Sniper just kind of follows along with it.
We have a kind of nice item this early on Flaming Wizard. Pole Staff is actually crazy good this early. 400 magic damage is just, I mean, when units aren't that strong, especially at 1-star, which, I mean, people are still going to have a lot of 1-star units. You can actually one-shot it. Almost one-shot it with that item, so very nice for him.
So going into round 15 for Wolves, just looking kind of down the list at everybody's economy, the fact that Chuck is at 50 gold and 98% HP is really scary for the people that are down here at 48% HP with 50 gold, because that means that not only is Chuck win streaking and gaining all that extra gold every round, but he's also extremely healthy.
Yeah.
And so if you're lose streaking, you see somebody that's
scary,
that's going that good for them, you have to imagine that they can basically spike just as much as you can.
Yeah. I think their saving grace or their hope is that Shock is playing for a strategy that falls off a little bit later in the game, just because of the kind of strategy he's playing. Say that Vincent or Neutron has a very late game oriented lineup, and Shock's lineup, if he's playing Beast Warrior for example, maybe falls off in the mid-late game to late game scenario. So I think that's what they're hoping for, but definitely, as you said, super scary for both of them, seeing him being this strong at this time.
I like this stat up here at the top left of total gained golds, because we can kind of see where everybody's at, where Neutron, obviously lose streaking, only has 7 more gold gained than Chuck does, but is 60% less HP than Chuck is.
And I'll pay 7 gold for 60% HP.
Yes.
In a heartbeat. And we can also, it tells more of a story if you see, for example, Riptide at 3rd place. He actually has quite a lot less gold than a lot of the players, which means that he might be 3rd in life right now, but I think it's a little bit behind in this game because his economy is quite bad, honestly.
It is extremely low.
Yeah.
So he's almost 2/3 of the highest economized person. So something to keep in mind. But another thing to look at would be how much gold he has on his actual team itself.
Yeah. And the bench. Look at the bench. This is where all the gold is going. And you talked about this previously, like that having an expensive bench really, I mean, it pays a big dividends, right? Because those are all units you invest gold into that actually doesn't help you win the round. But it might propel you into something in the future. I mean, when you get an upgrade on this Dragon Eyes and this Venom, he's gonna spike like crazy.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth it for
what
he's
agree.
building right now.
I agree. For what it's worth, I think it's worth it. Is he gonna go for 4 spirits this game, possibly?
So we have most of the lobby going up to level 7 here as well, which is on curve, except for Wob Wheezy. So that's something to, again, always be aware of. If you're the only one not going up, you understand that you're basically going to be taking a hit in HP right here.
Yeah, very likely. If you don't have a super upgraded lineup, there's a good chance you lose some HP. And we'll see Wob Wheezy taking some damage. Luckily, he has a pretty shield still, but would like to go up to 7 here, probably next round. He has 60 gold currently, so we should expect him to go to 7, going up to 70 gold.
Yeah, I would definitely see him going up.
So do we think Neutron can actually reverse his lose streak? Because he's been losing for a long time. It's starting, when you get under 30%, that's where it's really, you have to figure something out fast, because below 30% is scary, All of a sudden, especially if you started winning a little bit again, then you play against one of the top players that have started spiking. You take like 15 damage. And at that point, this might be too late.
You're one loss away from being out. Exactly.
Yeah.
And honestly, his bench doesn't even look as good as, like, say, Riptide's does, except now he does pick up a couple pairs here.
Ooh, Venom too. Wow, that's a big upgrade.
So yeah, he's rolling in pretty heavily right now.
Yeah,
he does have to get rid of one, which he does. So and so now he's just looking for another Dragonite and Shining Dragon.
Yeah. He really needs to go up to 8 also, so he can put in his third mage here. He has 2-star the source on this bench that he's looking to put in pretty quickly because there's a lot of potential extra magic damage to be dealt.
And he's going to take quite a bit of damage here. These Beast Warriors are doing some work on the loose triggers, down to 14% HP.
Yeah, he really needs to go up to 8, I think.
Vincent's definitely kind of hit his power spike now, it looks like.
Still at 50 gold also. I mean, he's still at 44%. I think that's a little bit more comfortable. 44 is... Yeah, it's not too bad. It's, as we said, when you get down to the 30%, that's where you should start to get a little bit worried. Maybe you should get down below 50 gold at that point.
Yeah, typically when you see people running Beast Warrior in a game, whether it's 1 or even 2, staying above 40% is typically where I like to be. 30% is fine when you're not up against Beast Warriors. 40% is a little bit better when you are.
Yeah, it doesn't take much of a... I mean, Beast Warriors kind of snowballs in some of the mid-game, especially in some fights. If you get a good, like, start at the beginning of the fight, they really take over pretty quickly. Shaq's still crushing it. Does he have, like, a 10-round win streak now? 9.
Just about it. Jesus. He's just trying to get through this round 19 to go into round 20. Has a creep round, gets an extra free gold, and also pretty close to Dragon Mages as well. We see several players actually looking into that build now, and that 2-star Thunder Spirit is doing some pretty heavy damage.
Yeah, it always feels nice when you have a big ban, can have a win streak going into the creep round. It's like the last round before you probably get another even bigger power spike from after the creep round. I mean, of course, you don't get that extra gold from having a streak during the creep round, but it's nice to be able to propel yourself and keeping the streak even afterwards, since you're gonna get a round of... Well, you're gonna get the shell for a round, basically, where you don't have to be so scared.
Yeah, I'm actually super surprised that Wabweezy is still at level 6, where...
oh yeah, wow, we talked about that.
Technically, he should be level 8 after this round, but he does have 84 gold in the bank, so it's something also to keep in mind.
When I see this in my games, I usually think they have disconnected or something. Well, let's hope that's not the case with Wabweezy. I don't believe it is.
I don't think so. No, I mean he's at 96, so he's really pushing that max gold limit.
It would be a sad game to disconnect. He hasn't. Yeah, I don't know. Man.
He might actually have.
Yeah, because I don't see a development of his bench either. So this is, I mean, super sad game to be disconnected at this point, right?
Yeah, it
does have a witch doctor, or sorry, a desperate doctor there to buy that.
Despacito.
Despacito. That's right.
Oh no.
Have Neutron? Oh, Neutron did go up to 8, just like we talked about. So that's. Then he put in his source, right?
Yeah, Neutron's actually been 8 for a couple rounds now, which is...
It makes sense. He really needed that third mage to really turn the corner. We'll see if it's going to be too late or not.
This is rough for Wab, though.
Yeah, yeah, because you don't get more gold than 100, right? So he's actually going to start losing gold now. So we're pretty sure that he's probably disconnected. Yeah. So unfortunate in a tournament like this where there's so much on the line. I mean... Of course, it's a 8-game tournament, right? I mean, you can still come back, and if you come 8th, I mean, there's sometimes you get struck by the in-game RNG, sometimes you get struck by the network cable RNG, you know.
Yeah.
And you can always come back. So let's hope he does do that. You know what would be the sickest comeback? If he just reconnects and then like wins this lobby.
Then
I don't see that happening.
Hits everything that he needs and comes back and destroys people. The only problem is that Vincent is also taking his units. But yeah, you see he's capped out at 100 gold.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, poor Waboozy. We'll check back in on him in a bit, but now we see Chuck with
he found
two Tortola Elders going up to level 8 as well, rolling down a bit too to possibly find his Tortola Elder. Just went down to 40 gold though.
So do you think we'll see him taking out the Flaming Wizard for Tortola Elder once we find that upgrade? Or do you think he'll keep the humans for 4 humans? He actually does already have 4 humans though, now that I think about it.
I would assume that he's probably going to keep the Flaming Wizard for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have 4 humans, 3 mages. He'd probably just go up to, I would assume, level 9.
Yeah, for the Elder.
And throw him in.
Do you think we could ever see a 6th human?
Potentially. It is a possibility with Dragon Mages because you already have the Dragon Knight as one of the humans too, and
then the second knight with the Argali Knight or something.
Yeah,
like that.
It could happen.
Yeah, doesn't happen often, but we'll see if we come down to that. Of course, Chuck looking real good in this game, still having 98 health, 10-round win streak, kind of crushing it. The thing is that it's really good for Chuck that is winning so well because he has this late game lineup that was scaled very well into the late game, so we'll see him do well here. But it seems like we have some technical issues where we have paused the game for a few seconds. Alright, so we're back into the game. I believe there was an admin who paused the games, perhaps for
Wabweezy.
For Wabweezy's sake, yeah. We're gonna hope he's gonna come back into the game. It would be so sad for him. This is where it ends for him. I mean, at least in this first round, right? Hopefully not. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, in lobbies where it's this close to, you know, where everybody's 1 gold means a huge difference. The fact that he lost gold already, even if when we do get him back into the game, he's already going to be just a little behind. But it's going to be interesting for, I would say, Vince and Wob once he does get back into the game, because those are the main 2 that were going Glacial Knights. Exactly. So I think Vince might be in a little bit better situation. Although with Wob being up at 100 gold, he has all that gold where he can roll and potentially find every single unit that he needs.
Let's see if he's back. Still 100 gold. So I'm guessing maybe Wob wasn't able to come back into this game. Super unfortunate for him, as we said. But I mean, there's only so much you can do at some point. We'll just hope he's going to be in the next game, basically.
Yeah.
And this is going to make it more interesting for others, because now people are really going to be hoping to face Wob right now that it's so weak, to get kind of like a free round. And they could actually make the game so it goes longer, that you have like a free opponent almost, that you can kind of take a break against, almost like a creep round, no offense. Oh yeah, it seems like Neutron has really turned it around, hasn't he? He said he's been at 14 for a long time, hasn't he?
He's still got a long way to go, I think. He is level 8 though, on par with everybody else in the lobby. He does have a 2-star Dragon Knight already as well. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things pan out for him. I think Chuck is still
he lost,
in the best position. But yeah, he did lose 2 Neutron.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay. Well, that should speak to some degree how much stronger Neutron is previously. Okay, so we had a bit of a lag spike there, but it seems like we're back here. Okay, Neutron has... Alright, so... Oh, we actually have some Glacial Warriors. Is that right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Only 2 Glaciers, though.
Interesting build from Zugrug. I guess it's just technically a Beast Warrior build at the end of the day. Does have... With
a Despacito.
Yeah, with Despacito, because of Berserker, you know, it does boost him up. Also gives him the Warlock bonus with Wormy Boy. And Wormy Boy's got Magic Crystals on him as well, so he's going to be spawning those worms like crazy.
Yeah, it's actually... It makes even more sense that we have Despacito in player, being the desperate Doctor, of course, because we see pretty good items on Berserker. I believe he has a Frenzy Mask, some damage item, and even the new lifesteal item, the kind of area of effect global item. What is it called? Puppet Mask? Is that right?
Puppet Mask.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have it on Berserker, I believe. So pretty powerful Berserker. Only needs some damage items really to pop off.
Yeah, and he's got a Frantic Mask and a
fish fork
on him. Yeah, and then we kind of talked about this in the EU section of the stream, and instead of going with 3-star Razor Claw, possibly putting in a Lord of Sand to take the place for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you want this for Beast, right? And preferably you want Razor Claw, but sometimes you're not finding the Razor Claws, right? Or even the other druids to upgrade him. And if that's the case, it's going to be harder and harder to find the druids. And I feel like the Razor Claw also falls off a little bit in comparison to the stun that Lord of Sand does. I mean, the extra unit becomes less important. Wow, this is Storm Spirit 3.
Yeah, Thunder Spirit 3, and he actually got a Strange Egg, and then rolled one more time just to see if he can get it, and he did. So technically, he does have a Swordman 3-star as well if he wanted it, but I'm sure he's waiting to save that egg for Dragonite.
Yeah, especially since Dragonite is so contested, not only in this metagame, but especially this game. I think this is like, that's the most dragons we've seen, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can find 2, that's all you need, as opposed to having to find 3. And yeah, Wob does go out, unfortunately, at 8th due to disconnect, unfortunately. But we do have Riptide, who actually had a really strong start, so I'm not sure how he took such a heavy dive.
Yeah, let's have a look. See soon why he's faring in the way that is. Waiting for the round to end. Right here we have the streaks, and Riptide has had a 7-round lose streak, and that's something you don't want to see past even round 5 or whatever. I don't know. I mean, you don't want it post round 20 because that's when you start taking a ton of damage from your opponents. Finds a helicopter.
Yeah, that's gonna be super good for Chuck.
Yeah,
that's, I mean, every mage player's dream is to find a helicopter.
Special helicopter 2 with it.
At level 8.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If he finds
that'd be insane.
Another helicopter. Yeah.
Maybe at 9. We'll see it. Very unlikely at 8, of course. So unlikely to find 1 to begin with.
Yeah, I would say that would be Chuck's main goal is to
go to 9.
Yeah, go to 9. Start saving. Go to 9, and see what he can do.
Yeah, no, I do agree.
Not too far away. He's 8 out of 32, so a couple clicks. But
it's actually interesting that it's not. I mean, now there's a creep round, so he might not want to do that yet. But as you said, he does have. I don't know. I would probably have gone for that Swordsman, or the Dragonite. Does he have Dragonite too? Only Dragonite 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so there he goes for the Dragonite with the Shining Egg. Yeah, that does make sense. No reason to use it before you get to see your kind of shop for the next PvP round if there's a player round. I mean, sorry, a creep round before that. So Chuck is kind of far away in the pack, so he's looking real good to finish this one strong.
Yeah, but I wouldn't count all the others out just yet.
No. I mean,
Vincent's got his 3-star Hell Knight, which is super important.
Yeah, Berserker 2 with good items, Frost Knight 3. I actually like Frost Knight 3.
Also not too far away from a 3-star Lightblade Knight either.
And this is kind of a blessing from the skies that, I mean, it's sad for what we see that he lost here and got out, but this is actually going to make it so much easier for him, for Vincent to find all of his knights now that they are all back into the pool.
Yeah.
With one Glacier Knight player.
And Riptide now going out 7th as well, losing to MDNG Please. So he will take 7th, but MDNG Please not too far behind with 5% HP. Neutron at 9%. So look for these two making some plays. Neutron's got 29 gold, and he's sitting on 20. Okay, so now he's going to start using it to level up. At least put another
9. Putting another. Okay.
Goes with the Pirate Captain.
Would you have liked him to put in a Dragonite instead?
I I mean, obviously if it was 2-star, but
Yeah.
I think the extra CC would probably be your
Maybe
your
he
best
has
option.
enough damage as it is.
Yeah.
Just needs to control his opponents a little bit more to get more attacks in from the other knight. And of course, Thunder Spirit also deals tons of damage. Maybe not an issue in that department. It seems like it's going to be fine here. What about the MDNG, please? He's actually losing this. Yeah, this should be lethal. So we're going to see MDNG, please, going out. And Pureshan also taking a bunch of damage, but not going to go out this round, of course. Staying at 3%. Yeah, that's a lot of damage from Neutron, actually.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. But
yeah. Super
Pureshan now
close to
3%. He's got a
Oh, there we go.
Wow, he's got a 3-star Argali Knight and a 3-star Hell Knight. So
only one rank, 1-star Evil Knight. Though.
yeah, unfortunately 1-star Evil Knight. Not much gold to help him out either.
Yeah, only one Frost Knight away from 3-star Frost Knight as well. So
True.
Close to some upgrades for sure. He pretty much has all the units he needs. He just needs to upgrade them at this point. I feel like. Yeah, Chuck still leading the
He's
pack.
up
Let's see.
against Chuck. I think he should be okay, to be honest.
I don't know about that. We have a 3-star Thunder Spirit on the other side. It seems a little bit too scary for this Knight player.
Yeah, so Pureshan is going to take 5th now.
Not awful, not awful. Clearly a little bit below average, but you gotta remember this is the 8th-game tournament to go into the grand finals of the qualifier on Saturday, where both regions, both EU and NA, get to clash versus each other, and we're gonna see who's going to Shanghai, the big $1 million finals tournament.
Might be seeing a 3-star
Oh my! I've never seen that.
Pyre Captain here soon. Although without something to replace, I would almost say that
It's
two
better with
2-star
2-star.
Pyre Captains would be better. Yeah.
Yeah. I want him to get it. I don't care. Yes, I mean, yeah. It's just so strong though, 3-star. I haven't seen it. I've just seen the stats. I've just looked at
Got
it
a
on
ton of
paper.
HP.
Yeah, I can imagine. And with that extra warrior buff, yeah, very strong, of course.
1-star Lord of Sand.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta
Unfortunately
get the
didn't get his
beast
skill
bonus,
off.
right? You can really see Zagrug actually starting to fall off here a little bit with this Beast Warrior. And this has kind of been the issues with the latest nerfs to Warriors and like the Beast Warrior strategy, that they tend to fall off a lot quicker than previously. Before you were able to pressure them so much.
Also, don't forget about Venom. Venom's skill right now is super strong. It targets the fastest attack speed unit on the other team. So if you're Zagrug and you have a Berserker, it's basically eliminating your carry unit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Beast Warriors, they doesn't have too much damage. That's why you use so many beasts to kind of increase it. The only big damage dealers you have are really the Doom Arbiter, but especially, as you said, the Berserkers. So kind of a counter there, alongside with the recent nerfs not making it. But top 4 is still a good position to place yourself in. I mean, if I got to be in top 4 or 4th place every round with Beast Warriors, I'd take it. That'd be enough, you know, to get into the 1st place. Most likely, right?
Yeah. Obviously, there's some things that could happen where you know, the
3 players go top 3 every time, right?
Yeah, and then you get knocked out for
unlikely, but yes,
right.
It is possible. All right, so yeah, especially since the difference between 1st and 2nd place is 2 points instead of just 1. Sometimes it might not be enough with only coming 4th every round. So Vincent's still quite strong here. Has a 4-round win streak, and he's had his upgrade for a long time. It's pretty close to that, the light jump. I like that it's going for Storm Shaman here against the Dragon Mage players. Potentially something that can really lock down your opposing units, so you can then cleave them down. Some issues with the Glacier Knight sometimes is that you don't have too much burst. You have a little bit of cleave from the Lightblade Paladin, which really just gives the mana to the mages in the back, and then you're not fast enough to actually kill them before they burst you down.
Right.
Well, if you have a Storm Shaman, you can actually lock them down and get some of the back line before they can repent. So
yeah, so Neutron is actually going to lose now to
sold
Chuck. And I was actually just about to comment on the Storm Shamans, but he ended up selling them right at the end there.
Interesting idea.
Honestly, he was only keeping the Storm Shamans because there was 2 mage players. I don't think he's really going to feel like he can beat Chuck. So Vincent's just playing for second right now. The reason why he sold the Storm Shamans, or had the Storm Shamans to begin with, was because of Neutron. But since Neutron's out, and there's only a Beast Warrior left that he just needs to kind of knock out.
So really
that's all he's worrying about.
Yeah, that's a really good point, chat. You gotta be looking at all times. You wanna scout and see what the other players are doing, because it can really make a big difference what like small extra units you're going for that final push. But yeah, Sagrag is gonna go out here in 3rd place. Still a very good result, and we're gonna have the finals here, basically between Vincent and Chuck. But I mean, at this point, Chuck has 2 Dragon Knights with the Dragon bonus. It's just, I think it's gonna be too much to overcome, and he even has a helicopter on the bench with his mage lineup.
Yeah.
If he finds 2 more Dragon Knights, he can actually get a Dragon Knight 3 and put in a helicopter. Ooh, we're getting closer. At this point, if this is me, this is where I start.
Oh, he found it. He's got the 3-star Dragon Knight.
And put in that helicopter, I assume.
Oh, he decides to put in the Dark Spirit instead of against the Knights. I do like that decision, actually.
Yeah, especially when you have the Thunder Spirit 3, right? Because it has so much more health. You can actually stun a lot of units. You see Hell Knight getting stunned immediately. And that's one of his biggest damage shields. So, I mean, this Frost Knight is just gonna crush Vincent. Let's have a look at Vincent's board and see how much damage he's taking. Yep.
Not too much.
Yeah, I thought it would have been more, especially since Chuck is also level 9. Yeah, I was kind of surprised there. Yeah, so we have the Lightblade Paladin 3 now. That is gonna be quite the upgrade. It's basically,
plus it's stacked with items too.
Yeah, it's basically double as good, and when it can stay alive for longer with more HP, it's gonna deal also even more damage. So very, very big deal. I don't know if it's gonna be enough to defeat Chuck. But we'll see. I mean, it's gonna come down to this for sure. He has 10 units in play currently. Oh wow, he had 10 units in play, and now Shining Dragon goes on the bench. So a big misstep to not get your dragon spells off, and that actually might help Vincent to stay alive. Yeah, now Chuck is gonna lose this round.
Yeah,
yeah, it's definitely a mistake there. Yeah, big deal. Let's see if he's gonna come back to haunt him, or if Chuck is gonna pull this out regardless. I'm sure he's gonna notice that quite quickly.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Not only did he lose the dragon buff, but also the mage buff. So it's kind of like the most important link in his entire lineup is the Shining Dragon.
On that
one, yeah. So.
How far away is he from level 10? Oh, he's. I guess 2 rounds away.
Yeah.
2 rounds away, he can go to 10. And
yeah, it's 35 now as well, so I think I would sell this helicopter honestly for interest. I think there's almost no chance that you want to take out your Dark Spirit, especially against another Night player, right?
Yeah.
That has pure damage. It's just so good against their damage reduction shield. So, of course, going straight through that. So, I would have loved for him to actually sell it. Let's have a look at the items of both this. Chuck has quite a lot of tanky items on Swordsman. Yeah, that's quite a beast. Doesn't have too many damage items on Dragon Knight actually. Just really looking for that. And this Lightblade Paladin is so strong.
Yeah, Lightblade.
Not too many upgrades though on his items. Very few actual combinations there. So a bit unlucky there, but still a lot of just extra raw damage output. Alright, so we're gonna see Chuck's side of the board here and see if he fares well. Now that he actually has his mages and his dragons in play with that Shining Dragon. Let's see how much this Lightblade Paladin can do. The targeting of this Frost Dragon was actually quite bad, and I think it's gonna cost Chuck to lose this round. The thing with the Frost Dragon is when it actually attacks a unit that stands on itself, it's not that effective. But if it hits the middle of the pack, it's super effective. You know what I would like to see Chuck do? Is I would want him to put his units more in the front, where it meets the other opponent's units. Because then they tend to be more in a clump, where Dragon Knight gets way more powerful. Same for Dark Spirit, right? But the way that they're both kind of jumping towards each other, all the units kind of tend to spread out if most of them are melee. Shaq went up to 10. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
a big
think it's a smart thing to do. Go up to 10. Although,
as you mentioned,
against Knights, Helicopter, I mean, he's going to get his ult off, but
the slow is good though.
It's not going to be as effective.
Yeah, and you see that the Dragon Knight is still not attacking some of the more squishy units. It doesn't use his splash damage that well, and this Lightblade Paladin is just so strong. It has so much health steal. But actually, Chuck won on Vincent's board, so this is big. We're gonna see. I mean, we can see Chuck losing every round, but even if he loses every round and Vincent loses every third round, he's still gonna come out ahead because he has so much more health to work with.
Yes.
Yeah, so big deal there. I would still really like him to move up his units to kind of try to meet Vince's unit instead of trying to have him in the back. I think that would really help him. But he's still like clumping up in the back.
Yeah, the Lightblade Knight is just tearing through his team.
Yeah, Lightblade Knight is super powerful.
Untouched as well, just tearing through his team.
But now we can actually see this is the big difference when Dragon Knight actually attacks the mid-pack when the units are clumped up. It attacks the squishier units. That's when you really get ahead. But it didn't happen on Vincent's side of the board, so he's actually gonna win just barely. Wow, this is close. I like this.
9,000 damage from that Lightblade Knight, by the way.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, you can really see how much the positioning matters here. It's so important to get that splash damage from the Dragon Knight, and I feel like Shock has kind of. I don't want to go against his playstyle here, but I feel like he's kind of become a little lazy because he has so much health.
He's just like, I'll let you kill yourself.
Yeah, but like, I have so much health, I don't really have to do anything different. I win every third time, I guess that will be enough.
I know there will be some type of RNG that'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I die.
But I think he could optimize way better in positioning here and not actually having it be this close.
And there it goes.
And there we go, yeah. You get one round where your opponents are kind of huddled together and Dragon Knight just tears through them. Yeah.
Yeah, Dragon Knight, well, it's the same I guess, concept for Vince too, where he was using that Lightblade Knight to tear through Chuck's clumped up units, like you said.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the difference with Lightblade Paladin is that it doesn't really matter if they're too clumped up because it's gonna bounce through all of them anyways. It goes from one to the other, right? Where the Dragon Knight splash damage is really in a like big puddle or whatever you want to call it around its target. So super good for Chuck there, getting that sweet win. He was kind of dominant throughout the match, honestly, and must feel good to claim that. It's so sad when you lose those big dominations.
Which we saw happen in the EU qualifiers or a tournament earlier today, where we had people with massive leads and then they didn't play them correctly.
Right. It does happen.
Where Chuck did pretty much everything right the whole game. Like you say, he's a little lazy, just like, you know, I'll let RNG take the wheel here and just let something happen. Where Vince was moving his units around every single round and trying to make something happen, which he needed to because he was bleeding that HP a little bit faster than Chuck was.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. And super exciting first game. We saw Dragon Mages do it again here, one of our top strategies. Are we going to continue to see Dragon Mages dominate? Who knows?
So.
And we'll see that right after the break. We'll be coming back with round 2 of the NA qualifiers.